Okay, so your pretest should have already been done. It was due last night by midnight. I think it is still open though if you haven't done it, so you can do it. It's just late. But remember, the pretest was not an actual grade itself. It was just a baseline, really, so I could see what y'all remember and don't remember from Algebra 1. So I think the class average when I saw it yesterday, it was like a 45-ish, which I know sounds awful, but that's what I expected. So don't fret too much. I will put the grade in the grade book, but I'm gonna make it not count towards your grade. So I don't want you guys to freak out when you see it in the grade book, okay? It's there just so you can see it and just so I can see it all in one spot. But it's not gonna actually count towards your overall grade. So I promise I still got your back. What we're gonna do today, two things we're gonna do. We're going to do, we're gonna go over graphing lines in slope intercept form and in standard form. And then we're also going to solve inequalities, multi-step inequalities, which I'll usually catch on to pretty quick when I introduce it. So on Canvas, let me get my Canvas up. That would be nice to show you guys. Okay, so all right, so let me go ahead and publish day 2. So it is up and running for you guys. All right, so 2 parts today, like I said, graphing lines and then solving inequalities. What we're gonna do, so I'm gonna do like the first couple of each of your assignments, and then I'm gonna let you take a break, and then you have the rest of the period to work on the assignment yourself. So I think I'm gonna do 2 graphing lines and 2 solving inequalities. And then if we need more, I can do more. If you don't need more, then you can leave the Zoom after those examples and to work independently, or you can stay in the Zoom and ask for more help if you want to, all right? So this first assignment is graphing lines. When you get it, there are 25 here, but make sure you read the directions. It tells you to only pick 10. Excuse me. Okay, so there's 25 here, so you're all gonna have different ones that you pick, all right? And then it's fine. And I've put on the same paper, there's 10 different graphs. So please make sure, since you're all gonna be different, make sure you write the equation at the top of the graph that you are choosing to graph, and then graph it, okay? The directions also say to please use the graph paper provided, write the equation on top, and show any work that you might do if you're gonna rewrite the equation. So some of my standard form ones, you might want to rewrite into slope intercept to help you graph easier. There's also a way to graph it though, keeping it in standard form. It doesn't always work, but I'll try to show you the ones that do work. All right. Okay, someone asked, do you want us to do it the same way as the syllabus? If you want to, yes, or you can print this, take a picture and submit it. So it's totally up to you guys. Some people like to print the paper, write on it, take a picture and send it in. Some of y'all I know don't have a printer, which is fine. I don't either, not at home. You could do the annotation if you're able to on the actual PDF document. So up to you. What you cannot do is, I don't want to give you that idea. If you don't have that, I don't want to give you the idea. But what's nice about the annotation, I think you could draw a line maybe so you can make sure it's straight. Just make sure it's going through all the right points that they need to go through. Don't just draw some random willy-nilly line. Okay, so let's go to this one. There we go. All right, can we all see my page with the equations and stuff? Okay, beautiful. All right. Can we do the work on a separate piece of paper and take a picture and submit that? Yes, you can. Yep, just make sure, please, just try to use graph paper if you can, so it's just easier for me to read. All right, so here we go. We have our 25 options. Let's just do 2 of them together. We'll do one in slope intercept form first. Let's do, I don't know, how about number 8? Okay, so I'm gonna do number 8. All right, so I'm gonna write my equation down. So I have y equals, and y'all can do this one if you want, or you can pick 10 others. It's totally up to you. -5/2x, and then plus 3. So this is in slope intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. So when we graph a line starting like this, you start with your y-intercept, which is going to be 3 in this case. So I'm going to draw a nice little dot on where y is 3. Remember, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Okay. And from there, slope, since it's mx, think of m as movement. How do my points move on to the next? Well, it's going to go with -5/2. So the negative means down. So from the y equals 3, we're going to go down 5 units, and we're going to go over 2 units. So from 3, we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to the right 2. 1, 2, and then there's my next point. Okay. You only need 2 points to make a line. So here I could just go ahead and connect them. I like to do a couple of dots if I can, just because I'm a perfectionist in OCD and I want to make sure it's looking the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to do my slope again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. Especially if you don't have a ruler to connect them, this is the best way to make sure that your line is doing the right slope throughout the whole graph. To go backwards from my y-intercept, I'm actually going to go up 5 and to the left 2. I'm going backwards, I'm going to do opposite. So here I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and backwards 1, 2. Like that. And then I can connect. See? Kind of straight, sort of. There we go. So that's what I would do for that first one. All right, any questions for me? Slowly coming back, remembering how to graph lines a little bit. All right, let's do another one. So that was slope intercept form. Let's find one that's in standard form. Let's do, how about, trying to find one that I like. How about 17? I think 17 is going to do what I want to do, what I want to show you. All right, 17 is in standard form. Standard form means that x and y are on the same side of the equation together. So we have 2x. Well, that's not a pretty 2. Let's try that again. Here we go. 2x, that's better, minus 5y equals 15. Okay. So with this one, there's a couple ways to go about it. One way that's going to work every single time is to convert this to slope intercept form. So you can subtract your 2x and then divide by -5 to make it y equals like we did in the first equation. Okay. What you can also do with standard form is you can find your x and your y intercepts, plot those 2 points, and then connect them. Okay. That way does not always work. It doesn't always work pretty. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Looking at this equation, to find my y-intercept, I would actually cover up 2x, and I would only look at -5y equals 15. That's not a pretty 5. There we go. All right, and then solve for y by itself. So then I would divide both sides by -5, and I get y equals -3. So I know that I have a y-intercept, oops, -3. Down here. Okay, And then I could do the same thing with my x. I can cover up the y piece and just look at my 2x, make that equal to 15. This is where it's not always pretty, because here if I divide by 2, I don't get a nice whole number. We get 15 over 2, which is what, 7.5, I believe. So 7.5 is like, oh my gosh, it's the x-intercept. Here we go. 7.5 is about right there. And then I could just connect those lines and I'm done. So that's one way to do standard form. Again, this is the way that does not always work. Excuse me. Well, it works, you just don't always get the prettiest of numbers to plot. Okay, so that's one strategy. And then the other strategy, like I said before, was to make the whole thing equal to y. So I see a 2x on the side. I am going to subtract my 2x over. Whoa, there we go. And that gives me negative 5y equals negative 2x. I'm running out of room. I can tell I haven't done this in a while. Okay, let's try again. You probably have more room on your paper than I do. Okay, we have negative 5y equals negative 2x, there we go, plus 15. The reason why it does not become 13x is because they are not like terms. Negative 2 had an x, 15 did not. So they do not get put together. They are separate. If they both had an x, I could have done the adding or subtracting, but in this case, I don't have that, so I can't do it. And I put my x in front because that's y equals mx plus b. That's supposed to be in front of it, so I have my slope in the right spot. Final step to get the y by itself, I see a negative 5 being multiplied to it, so opposite of that, we're going to divide each piece by negative 5. So we have y equals negative 2 divided by negative 5 is going to be positive 2 over 5x. And then 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. Okay. So I could graph this line. mx plus b, so my slope is going to be 2 over 5. My y-intercept is negative 3. Hey, look at that. We already have that, don't we? Because of the standard form also gave me my y-intercept. So that's a nice little way to check yourself. We did do that correctly. So I'm going to start at negative 3. Our slope is up to, excuse me, and over 5. Since it's all positive, we're going to go up and to the right. So we're going to go up 1, 2, and go over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and draw that point. All right, I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And again, I could do it backwards, and if you go backwards, you just do the opposite. So instead of up and right, I'm going to go down and left. I'm going to go down 1, 2, and to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And then I'm going to try to connect all of these. There we go. Kind of. Hopefully you have rulers and they look better than what I'm doing on here. But you get it. And you might also notice, see that x-intercept that we plotted in the beginning? That's still part of our line, right? If my line was straight, it would also show that it goes through that x-intercept. So a couple of ways to do your standard form equations. Pick the way you like and go with it. Or if you try it one way and you're not sure about it, also try it the other way and see if they match up. I know it seems like a lot of work, but once you get in the hang of it, it'll be quick. It's not that bad. The only other lines I see on here, I see x equals and I see y equals just to a number. Remember, x equals a value, like number 24. X equals, excuse me, -7. You find where x is -7 and you draw a line straight through that. So that means it's going to be a vertical line. Okay, be careful. X equals means you cut through the x, so it's going to be a vertical line. Okay, y equals, you want to cut through the y-axis, so if I'm cutting through the y-axis, it becomes a horizontal line. Okay, so those guys are special. Excuse me, I have breakfast stuck in my throat. Okay, do we have any questions about graphing lines? Because otherwise I am going to move on. Let me expand this so I can see all your faces. There we go. Or those of you who are showing me your face, I can see your face. There we go. Any questions? We're good. Natty, I see your face every day because I have your picture on my board. And you're over here. We good? Okay. All right, let me check my chat box thing. I need to get used to looking at that more often. Oh, that one's good too. Okay. Wonderful. Here we go. I'm going to move on then. So remember, this was 2 of them. You can use those 2. I don't care. You'll have 8 more. Or you pick 10 of your own problems from this worksheet and graph them. All right, let's go to my next stuff. Okay, so your next assignment, my goodness, I'm sorry, is going to be a math lib. I don't know if y'all have done that before. Let me go back to this guy. So I'm gonna go next. Your second assignment today is a math lib. There's 2 things. The answer sheet is what, if you're able to, you can print, and this is where you'll show all your work. Again, if you don't have a printer, use your own paper. So you'll do your work in the boxes, and then math libs, what kind of makes them fun is they make a little story in the end. So hopefully we all have the same story when we're done. So they're all multiple choice, which is nice. And when you get your answer, there's a part of the story you're gonna fill in. So that's your answer sheet, the problems only. Here we go. So here's our 10 problems. Okay. So we're going to actually do number 1 together here in a minute. And then whatever answer we come up with, it's going to give me the name to fill into that first blank in my story. Does that make sense? And then so there are 10 of these. Woo. All the way down, 9, 10, and they're giant problems, but makes you be able to see them easier. They do get kind of complicated, like we see the last one. You're gonna be okay. Take it step by step. So we're going to do, I think I have number 1 and number 6. Yes, I have number 1 and number 6 ready to show you. After I do those, if you're good to go, after I do number 6, you are free to leave. After I do 1 and 6, if you feel like you still need help, then you can stay. All right. So let's start with this guy. All right, it says solve the inequality below. We have 6 times x minus 5 is greater than 3 times x minus 1. So just like solving normal equations, we're going to follow PEMDAS. What is special about inequalities is the sign, it's not equal, right? An equation will have an equal sign. Inequalities have the greater than or less than signs, right? Do we need to print out the answer sheet for the math lib? If you are able to, yes, please try to print that out. But if you need to use your own piece of paper, that is fine also. All right, so solve the inequality below. We are going to, like I said, solve it like usual. What makes these special is the greater than, less than signs. They stay the same unless there's one thing that's going to make our signs flip. And that's going to be if you multiply or divide by a negative number. That's the only way our sign's going to flip. If we never multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, then our sign is going to stay the same. All right. So looking through here. So that's the only thing we got to kind of keep in the back of our head. So I'm going to start off by distributing the 6 to both. So that's going to give me 6x. And then 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. I have not done anything to my sign yet. It's there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Distribute the 3 to the x and the 1. So that becomes 3x minus 3. Now we're gonna start moving things over. You'll notice all of your answers, your X is gonna be on the left-hand side. So when I solve my problems, I'm always gonna move my X to the left. You do not have to, it's not required. If you wanna keep the X on the right or left, you can switch it around both ways. Just make sure you recognize all of your answer choices have the X on the left-hand side, right? So I'm going to move this guy over to the left. So negative 3x, subtract it from the other x. So 3x minus 3x is gone. I've moved it over. 6x minus 3x gives me 3x. I did not change anything else. So I still have minus 30, still have greater than, and I still have minus 3. Well, now it's a negative 3. All right. Now I'm going to move the 30 over. Since right now it's subtract 30, I'm going to make it add 30 to both sides. Because negative 30 plus 30 is 0, so we've moved it over. Negative 3 plus 30 gives me positive 27. So now we have 3x is greater than 27. Final step to get x by itself, I see that 3 is being multiplied to it. So to undo multiplication, we have to divide by 3. Now we are dividing. 3 divided by 3 cancels out. But we do not flip because we did not divide by a negative number. We divided by positive 3. So my sign is not going to flip. It's going to stay x is greater than, and 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay. So let's see which of our answer choices that was. So x is greater than 9. So that is C. So for number 1 for everybody, our answer is C. And so Mrs. Riggs is what's going to go into that first blank into your story. All right. Questions about the first one. That one was very, very basic. So if you got questions on that, ask me, because they do get harder. Okay. All right, well then I'm gonna move on. 4, 5, 6. We're gonna do this one. A little bit more complicated. So we're gonna do number 6 together. All right. And yes, show work. Even though I'm doing them, you need to show your work so that way you can get credit for these problems. Okay, don't just put x is greater than 9 for number 1 and think you're going to get all the points because I did it. I'm not giving you credit for my work. You got to do it yourself. All right, number 6. This one looks fun. Solve the inequality. We have 6x. We have 6x minus 5 times 2x plus 9 is less than or equal to 2x plus 3. All right, so lots of stuff going on here, but again, we're still going to solve it the way we did last time, following PEMDAS and order of operations, and then keeping in mind if we ever have to multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, we have to flip our sign. All right. So first things first, let's see, lots going on. Let me change my color. Let's do purple. Okay. I'm going to distribute again. And when I distribute, you're distributing negative 5 to both of these. That's okay, Henry. You're here now. So when we distribute, whatever number is in front, you also bring the sign with it. So this is technically a negative 5. So we're going to multiply that to 2x and plus 9. So the beginning of our equation did not change. But negative 5 times 2x is going to give me negative 10x. And then negative 5 times 9 is going to give me a negative, there we go, a negative 45. Okay. Less than or equal to, we have 2x plus 3 still over there. All right, so now I'm going to look at it. I see that my left-hand side has a 6x and a 10x. So I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms and bring those together. So 6 minus 10, that gives me what, negative 4? That becomes negative 4x minus 45, less than or equal to 2x plus 3. So always make sure your sides are combined as much as possible before you start moving things over, okay? Check each side, make sure you don't have any repeats. Like I did over here, I had 2 X's, so we gotta bring them together. Once there's no more repeats happening, then start moving. So again, I always move things over, move my X over to the left because that's how all of my answers were written. So I'm gonna move 2X over. It's positive 2X right now, so I'm gonna subtract it to the other side from my other X. So 2X minus 2X, they're gone. Negative 4X minus 2X, what does that give me? Negative 6. Right? We still have minus 45, less than or equal to, and there's still a 3 right here. All right, now we're gonna move 45 over to the right. Right now it's minus 45, so opposite of that, we're gonna add it. So we're gonna add 45 over. Because negative 45 plus 45, it has canceled. So we have what? I'm running out of room, aren't I? We have negative, come on, pen, there we go. Negative 6X is less than or equal to, what is that, 48? There we go. Okay, sorry, I was trying to get more page to show up. Oh, well, that just didn't work. Fine, we're gonna stay here. Okay, so we have negative 6X is less than or equal to 48. I see negative 6 is attached to X by multiplication, so we're gonna divide both sides by negative 6. And hopefully you have little bells and whistles going off because we're dividing by a negative number. So because we divided by a negative number, our sign is going to flip to now be greater than or equal to. And 48 divided by negative 6 gives me negative 8. Okay, so remember your sign flips when you multiply or divide by a negative number, and that happened in number 6. So our final answer here is X is greater than or equal to negative 8. So let's look back at our worksheet and see which one that's going to give me. So that ends up being what? D? So the zoo. So in the blank spot in your story for number 6, you would write the zoo. All right. So I am done with my part today. So if any of you have any questions, you can stay. If you don't have any questions, you have both of those assignments that are due today. So you are free to leave and get working on that. If you have an issue, send me a message. If we need to Zoom again later, we can. Just let me know. But for right now, I am done with my part. I want to give you the rest of the time to work, because what, your next class starts at 9:20. So it gives you about an hour and 15 to get this done. I think you can. But as always, if you have problems, let me know. So you are dismissed if you don't have any questions for me. I have some chats. Yes, Melvin, I'm going back. I see your chat. I'm sorry. There you go. Yep. Oh gosh, I'm pushing things. There you go.